Joining me now is Michael Skakel's current attorney, Stephan Seeger. Great to have you on. Thank you so much for being here. I have a question that's kind of weird right off the bat. Why does Michael Skakel need an attorney right now? I mean, I know that murder's forever. There's no statute of limitations. Is he looking over his shoulder and thinking it could happen again?
No, right now the case has been dismissed. I mean, I was the lawyer at trial after the reversal came through, and the dismissal took place when State's Attorney Colangelo nullied the case, and by operation of law, it was dismissed. As a result of that, we continued to pursue and try to vindicate Michael's rights by initiating a couple different lawsuits. One is a civil rights lawsuit, and the other is a lawsuit that's asking to have the alleged confession tapes returned. They've somehow mysteriously just disappeared. And so we launched a lawsuit against the town of Greenwich and the police department, along with Frank Garr, who was the investigator at the State's Attorney's Office and also formerly with the Greenwich Police Department.
So was the case dismissed with prejudice, which means it can never come back?
Well, the case was nullied originally, and in Connecticut, after the nully period expires, 13 months, by operation of law, it's dismissed completely. Dismissed with prejudice is more like a civil concept. I don't really see it too much in the criminal courts, and it's just simply dismissed.
So if he's not looking over his shoulder based on, the fear that someone would come back and put him in prison again, is there any exposure for his brother, for Thomas? And all of this happening, by the way, a year after Dorothy Moxley, who we just saw in that package, died. 20 years ago, she said she didn't think she was going to live that long. She lived for another 24 years, and she still believes that it was either Michael. I think she believed it was Michael. But there was always that suspicion that maybe his brother Thomas had something to do with it. Is Thomas exposed?
He was originally. I mean, I would be up to the State's Attorney's Office if they're pursuing a case. I've never heard anything about Tommy being pursued as a consequence of Michael's dismissal. But he was one of the prime suspects, of course, because he was the individual that was last seen with her. He was of the size and the body build that would more likely fit the bill of person who could have committed this heinous crime with a golf club with a brute force and then be able to drag a body. If you compare that to Michael, what he looked like when he was 15, he looked like a little girl at that point. And there's a lot of things. So you mentioned the podcast at the beginning of the show. There's a lot of things that will come out that people have never heard before. So, for example, you're going to hear from witnesses who gave statements that weren't used. You're going to hear about other evidence that we could not introduce. And I don't want to spoil the podcast and what it brings to the table, but I think the narrative is already changing, and it will change a lot more. And the reason for that is kind of simple. It's in a court of law, you have the rules of evidence, and when the media comes into a courtroom, they film and they write about what they hear in court. And there are certain parameters that exist in the context of a criminal case. Everybody knows that your client can't talk. I mean, he has no obligation to talk and not to talk in most cases. But between the rules of evidence and what you can and can't say and how you advise a client at trial, there's a lot of the story that gets left behind. And I mean, that's the purpose of the appellate court, to sort of look over the shoulder of the trial court if something is happening with evidence. But it's a different story, different format. The podcast will surprise people, to be sure.
Well, I have just a couple seconds left, but I want to ask you, he said, I was just the fall guy. And I wonder if he wants to find the real killer, if only to clear his name, or does he want this whole thing behind him? He wants to just crawl away and never see a press or a headline or a police officer again.
Michael and Martha were friends. Of course, he'd like to be able to serve up the real killer. And what I know for sure is that it's not him. And in terms of putting something like this behind you, it's very difficult. It's wishful thinking to a large extent. What he means by fall guy is you got a lead investigator in this case, for example, who has a book deal with an investigator that's supposed to be turning into a movie deal, and he's got an economic interest in it. And that's just one example of how the deck of cards is stacked against him. And the reason why I mention this is because a lot of people say, oh, he's a Kennedy cousin, and therefore he's got special treatment. Well, I don't know, with that kind of power and influence that people speculate about how he lands in jail for 11 and a half years. It's ludicrous to believe that. He didn't do the crime. He wasn't anywhere near it.
I am fascinated. I want you to keep us posted, if you would, about the suit against Greenwich and the lead police investigator, and hope to see you back on the program when there's some movement there. Thanks so much for this tonight.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.